guys, Leah Michelle, Resistant Chicks, are coming at you March 28th, 2017. You know, I don't know how many people would raise their hand if I said, do you think that human life is valuable? If you don't, raise your hand. I'm not sure we're going to get too many people that raise their hand that think that human life is not valuable. As a matter of fact, amongst everything that exists in this world, human life is the most valuable. It's more valuable than gold. It's more valuable than diamonds. It's more valuable than land. It is the most precious thing. And as a society, as the human race, it is the number one top thing that we should hold above everything else is human life.
Now, MSNBC actually...
They disagree with that.
They were going over
talking about the standout moment,
the confirmation of
Neil Gorsuch for Supreme Court Justice,
and this was shocked a lot of us because, and they're reporting that his value for human life is to be for concern, disdained.
to what we've heard so far today.
Well, Dianne Feinstein certainly went after him on a number of issues that are critical to progressives, and abortion, euthanasia at the top of the list. Look to his work on euthanasia. In fact, he's written a whole book about it. I will refer to the part of the book that concerns a lot of people who believe in the woman's right to choose. Human life is fundamentally and inherently valuable, and the taking of human life by private persons is always wrong.
So, there's a lot of things that concern me there. The fact that it concerns her that he says the taking of human life is always wrong. He says human life is fundamentally and inherently valuable, and the taking of life by a private person is always wrong. Now, raise your hand if that causes concern for you, but it would. It was interesting, she said, the progressive issues that are important to progressives are abortion and euthanasia. We've seen euthanasia enacted in really weird manners across the globe lately, where it's been legalized. People who are just depressed can get euthanasia.
Right.
I believe like Holland and maybe even the Netherlands have some really lax laws there where you can just, I'm depressed, kill me type thing. And listen, we're not talking about those on life support.
That's different.
And you taking somebody off of life support. Okay, that is different. But if somebody is able to get up and to move around, or even if they're stuck in a wheelchair, but they're able to live and to breathe
Without
and
machines.
to eat without machines.
That's the important thing.
Right? And
if you're not being kept artificially alive,
right, then no one has the right to just take your life. No one
and you don't have the right to kill it, whether somebody helps you or not or whatever.
Right.
It is illegal to commit suicide. And I don't understand the difference between blowing your own brains out being illegal,
right,
and having somebody else kill you. It's
right.
illegal, it's illegal, it's illegal.
Right.
You can't do it.
So, while celebrating Feinstein's partisan smear of Gorsuch, I mean, these were just some crazy hearings. Jansing touted that the California Democrat talked very movingly about how when she was a judge, she had to sentence women to prison for having an abortion, how she lived in a time when college students had to raise money to send someone to Mexico, or women committed suicide. The reporter then dutifully promoted the liberal lawmaker's insulting response to the judge's thoughtful answer on the issue. Feinstein was very clear also that she wasn't convinced, saying, "You have been able to avoid specificity unlike anyone I have ever seen before. MSNBC is so deep in the tank for the Democrat Party and the abortion industry that the network opens fire on someone simply for acknowledging the value of human life." And what's interesting is I went to this Vox article, and their whole spin was, I read Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch's books. He has a book, and it is about euthanasia and why legally he is against the legalization of euthanasia, and he believes that life is inherently valuable. But this whole article is, they're so worried that Neil Gorsuch is going to overturn abortion because he believes that human rights and human life is inherently valuable.
Right.
But I thought the whole point of abortion was that it's not really a human yet, because humans have a right to life, liberty, and property. And Hillary Clinton said that a baby is a fetus in the womb,
right, and
not
has no
a
constitutional
human
rights
yet. I heard one story where in the Netherlands, there was a doctor who actually forced this elderly woman, who was actually able to take care of herself into euthanasia. And I just wanted to bring you this. This was from January. A Dutch doctor who forcibly euthanized an elderly woman without her consent acted in good faith. A euthanasia oversight panel decided that when it cleared her of wrongdoing. The chairman of that panel has expressed hope that the case will go to court, not so the doctor can be prosecuted, but so the court can set a precedent on how far doctors may go in such cases. This particular case was sent to the Regional Review Committee, which oversees the country's liberal euthanasia regime. The woman, who was over 80, had dementia. She had allegedly earlier requested to be euthanized when the time was right, but in her last days expressed her desire to continue living. Nevertheless, her doctor put a sedative in the patient's coffee. The doctor then enlisted the help of family members to hold the struggling, objective patient down so that she could administer the lethal injection. Dear God, I am convinced the doctor acted in good faith, and we would like to see more clarity on how such cases can be handled in the future. How can we kill off dementia patients without being, having to go to jail or something, right? The committee chairman said, taking this case to court would be not to punish the doctor who acted in good faith and to do what she had to do, but to get judicial clarity over the powers a doctor has when it comes to euthanasia of patients suffering from severe dementia. If you suffer from severe dementia, they want the doctors to be able to kill you. To kill you. Society has flipped everything upside down, says Alec Schadenberg, executive director of the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, told LifeSite News. This is a prime example of another upside down attitude in the culture. Doesn't someone have the right to change their mind? And what was interesting is she said that she expressed the desire for euthanasia when the time was right, but that she never deemed when that time would be. And when they told her, you're going to go now, bye-bye.
I'm sick at my stomach.
They put a sedative in their coffee, and the family had to hold her down while they killed her. She was functioning. She wasn't on a machine. She was eating. She was sleeping. You just had to take care of her. And this comes in a society where we don't want to take care of the elderly like we don't want to take care of children. Even the children are easier. You can change a little diaper. You can hold them. They love you, right? And things like that.
Right.
But when they're disabled, it's like, okay, this reminds me of Nazi Germany all over again, where they were killing off all the disease, the disabled and those who were deemed unfit for society. This is it's an arm of eugenics.
Right. Well, here's the thing. And I was reading in the Bible, and he was in Matthew, and Jesus was saying something. He was upset at the scribes and Pharisees because they were going and giving into the temple, right? The money that they should have been giving to their parents, and they were saying, well, listen, I'm giving to the temple, and so that's in place of me giving to my parents, because obviously that's more important. And he says to them that you're doing this and you're not even giving the right what's due to your parents, what you owe your parents.
Right.
And I found that very eye-opening, that Jesus would say, we owe our parents. They took care of you, man, for the first 18 years of your life. All right. So if you got to take care of them for the last 20 years of their life, turn about, guys. I don't care if it's dementia. I don't care if it's wiping butts. They wiped your butt. You wiped theirs. It's that simple. Leah and I are 100% anti-nursing homes unless it comes to the point where literally you physically can't take care of that person anymore. Like a wife taking care of her husband, she's too frail, she can't do it, whatever. But the younger people, the children, we put our money where our mouth is. We took care of our grandma. We made sure she did not ever have to go into a nursing home. There were times that our uncle but he needed to go to a nursing home. We made sure we did everything that we could. By the grace of God, we were able to do it. We may have had to eat rice and beans in order so that we could stay home and stuff like that to do it. But we did it. We made it happen because that is what you do, because you owe it. You guys, you owe it to your own family. The Isaiah 58, it's what we're called Isaiah 58 Ministries. It says that the real fast is to take care of the fatherless and the widows and to not deny yourself from the needs of your own flesh and blood. And I understand, I have dealt with dementia patients. My heart goes out to those family members that have to deal with these people, but it never comes to the point where you just kill them. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And so euthanasia, to get back to the Neil Gorsuch thing, life is valuable. It is valued above all else. And the fact that MSNBC is calling out and saying, oh my gosh, I find this very disturbing. I'm very alarmed that
I wanted
You know.
to kind of go over this. The Netherlands was the
Back to
first
the same
country
lady.
to decriminalize euthanasia and assisted suicide in 2002. And in intervening 15 years, as many as 1 in 33 Dutch people are thought to have died this way, including 650 babies with disabilities a year.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys, come on. And here's why I have the problem. A lot of you, our American viewers, are probably going, but Leah and Michelle, those are Dutch people. That's not going to happen to us. As soon as
Canada's
you open the door.
And we have a couple states in America that allows it.
As soon as you open the door for this to happen, it's going to be the children. It's going to be the children with Down syndrome. It's going to be the kids that have extreme autism. That is what is going to happen. We're going to start killing alive children. And so you've got the euthanasia here that's going to allow it to happen, and the abortion here, and they're going to meet together, and we're going to become so desensitized to killing people that it's going to become okay.
They start with movies like $1 Million Baby. We went to go see this in the theater, and they start with movies with people who are on some sort of life support and stuff like that, and they can't move, and they're in incredible pain all day.
Hilary Swank and Clint Eastwood.
And then we just
movie.
watched this
Horrible.
British, supposed to be romance movie with one of the guys from Hunger Games in it. Stupidest movie ever. I told Michelle, you pick out a movie, make sure it's not a death, euthanasia, kill people movie.
Yeah.
When we watch it, this is happy romance, and you think it's going to turn out. Nope, he dies.
Because, like I said, it's not just this fully functioning adult that can make a decision, I don't want to live anymore. Once you cross that line, you're going to start killing people that don't have a say in the matter. And that's when it's not okay.
The purpose of it was
not okay before that,
to help. The purpose of it was to help people who were terminally ill, right? And everybody can kind of say, listen, you're terminally ill and you're on a bunch of machines and stuff like that. There's a difference there, right? You don't need to take an injection to stop your heart from beating, right? Assisted dying is fast becoming a lifestyle choice in the Netherlands. People now request euthanasia for a variety of causes, such as a 47-year-old divorced mother of 2 who was suffering from tinnitus, a loud ringing in the ears. When she was killed, she left behind a 13-year-old son and a 15-year-old daughter. According to reports, the Netherlands is expected to enact a law later this year that would allow for elderly people to request euthanasia if they have a well-considered opinion that their life is complete.
And if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me on this, and I always hate to say things where I'm going to look stupid, which happens. You guys watch us anyway. But I have heard that the depression rate in the Netherlands is higher than in other places.
I don't know.
And so you guys can correct me on that, but I'm kind of wondering if there's a correlation there with the push for euthanasia and assisted suicide is essentially what it is, and that correlation with depression. And so we don't treat it with, let's just kill off all the depressed people or the people that want to die. Let's help them.
I think Michelle and I think that we can say that we do put, again, we put our money where our mouth is. When we came to take care of our grandma and our uncle was not mentally sound. He was not mentally there.
He is now, by golly. God works miracles.
His teeth were all rotten. He had almost 2 or 3 inches of mold growing in his room. There were times when he was almost dead several times, but love. That's the power of love, and I believe.
And now he literally is one of the most valuable members of our household. He's doing Pilates at the gym.
He's swimming at the gym now.
He's always got a joke. He's incredibly intelligent. He's with us with every project that we have to do that we don't know what we're doing. Out with the cars, he takes his cane out there. He will get on the ground with his cane, barely can get underneath of the cars.
We have
smart. We're always going to him with questions.
We have changed beds. We have changed diapers. We have.
Because there were times, even when my grandma was alive or with my uncle, where the doctors were like, I don't know if he's going to live, and there's this question and stuff like that. But you don't just give up. If we had given up, half of the things that we do around here wouldn't be done if it weren't for the fact that Uncle Jack gives us tips and tells us. He taught me how to solder. Everything I know about plumbing,
there were times
electrical.
when he wasn't mentally there, and nutrition was his issue.
Yeah, it was a lack of food. And so there's answers out there, and
he was an alcoholic for most of his life, and Jesus set him free.
He's not an alcoholic anymore. He doesn't drink any alcohol whatsoever. He smoked his entire life. He doesn't smoke at all. I mean, he literally is my favorite person on the planet. And we wouldn't have that blessing if we had given up.
We had half of his tongue taken off. We had to feed him intravenously.
He is
through
He's a miracle man. He's amazing. Hi, Sydney. And so my mom has always said since we were little, when there's life, there's always hope. And when there's no life, there's no hope.
We believe God can heal. And
God
sometimes,
can always restore.
The doctors killed our grandma. And that just happens. Sometimes things happen. We fought and things happen. But, you do what you are called to do with what you're given. And the problem is we're taught, like, through this public school system, what it does is it actually conditions you that you go away somewhere,
right,
and you do something and somebody else cares for you, or for your children for the better part of the day.
Right.
And then when your parents are older, you're like, well, wait a minute, they can't take care of themselves anymore. I got to send them somewhere to take care of them.
Right.
And nursing homes are the big booming business in the United States, just like daycares. The rise in daycares and the rise in nursing homes have kept pace,
right,
because people are too busy. Their lives are too busy, and because you have two people working into their 40s and 50s, and they can't be at home to take care of the family members who need care. So it's this whole
Why did we
system.
never listen, guys? Social Security was not even an issue. We didn't need Social Security. People didn't need retirement money. They didn't need the government to pay out. Why? Because you had a family core unit,
right,
where you had multi-generational households. Where, you know what, when mom and dad got old or they didn't have enough resources, then they moved in because it's cheaper to do one house. And I know so many of you are watching this. And
Thank you for those of you who do this, because a lot of you do this.
Right, Leah and Michelle, I couldn't ever do it. And I would say that, A, I would say pray about it, and B, I would say then it's an unfortunate result of our society that by the time your parents reach their 80s, you are so separated from them because you had a 40 or 50 year gap of never having a solid relationship with them. And I find that as a society really unfortunate, and I would encourage you're going to just have to get to know your parents again, because with our grandma, we hadn't lived here for 5 years. We hadn't seen her for a really long time, and we started out from scratch, getting to know our grandma, getting to know our uncle all over again, and we butt heads, and it was hard, and we cried a lot. It wasn't something that we wanted to do, but God had called us to do it, and when God calls you to do something, there's a grace there. Okay, so I want to encourage you guys a lot of you ask questions. You want to make these big changes, right, in America. How do we make America great again? I want to do X, Y, Z, and I want to get all these people behind it. It starts with you, right where you're at, pulling your kids from public school, raising them yourself, doing everything that you can. Start a garden on your balcony, start a garden in your yard, get some chickens, take care of your elderly parents, teach right from wrong, raise your kids to know who Jesus Christ is. That is how you make America great again. That is how we're going to make the societal shift. Get yourself a war room, open up your closet, get on your knees. If you've never opened up a Bible, open up your Bible. That is how we are going to effectively make a change in America and across the world. That is simple. That is it, guys. I know you want to share articles, and thank God you share them. I know you want to go out and start all kinds of, nonprofits and get the word out and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, there is more power in the prayer of a mother on her knees, or a father on his knees, or a grandmother or grandfather or whatever for their country than there is in all of the programs in the world. Okay, so that's where the change is going to happen. That's how it's going to take place.
Boy, you said it all. Well.
All right. There you go. This is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications, and find us on Facebook and Twitter. This is what you keep coming back for. This is who we are. You guys seem to like it, so.
Was cold, all alone. No place for home. Every day, so afraid. But you called my name.